This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
I have like a pea jar.
Did you just grow a mustache?
I gotta go commit Harry Carey.
Maybe he used matches to make his own primers.
It's just normally worn by like awful people.
This gun gives me a boner.
Because once you get used to the supermodel, it's fun.
There. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. We go to Melbourne, Australia, Jeff.
Ooh.
Police officers in Melbourne were responding to reports of a gunshot back in April when they found an injured man in an alleyway. A 37-year-old man was discovered with a gunshot wound off Scott Street. He was shot. Now, was he shot by A, robber who intentionally shot him, B, a gun he made himself accidentally, like accidentally shooting himself, or C, a P320?
I mean, I gotta go with P320. Like that's the jam.
No, we can't blame Sig this time. It was actually a gun he made by himself.
Oh, props to him.
That he made himself, and he shot himself with it somehow. It was a homemade firearm. Doesn't say if it was a pistol or a rifle or what it was. Probably like something out of Fallout. I don't know. I
tube with a nail in the back.
Probably, yeah. I started watching that show. It's weird, really weird.
I still need to watch it. Like I never really played the video games, but I know about the lore.
Yeah, I never played the video games. I watched the first episode. It's interesting. I want to keep watching, but I haven't watched any more than that. Anyway, police believe he accidentally discharged the firearm and shot himself. That was really the end of the story. But
wait, I wonder where he got the ammo.
Well,
like Australia is like super anti-gun, so I thought it was one of the countries where you like on your license it says, "Hey, I'm allowed to buy these kinds of bullets."
Yeah.
Or maybe he made his own bullets, or maybe he had a friend. I don't know.
Maybe he used matches to make his own primers.
Oh.
You know, you ever seen those goofy ass videos?
I've seen the like homesteaders and the like. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna make my primers out of matchsticks, and then like I have like a pea jar to collect all the saltpeter and all this stuff, and I put it all together and make black powder, and then I cast my lead bullet and put it over the top. And
yeah, if it goes that bad, I'm just gonna go with archery equipment at that point. I don't
crossbow.
Yeah. No, oh shit, what was I gonna say? I remember watching like the Ken Burns' The War about World War II, and how they would say, well, bacon fat. We would save this bacon fat because they'd use it to make ammunition or explosives or whatever. Yep. And my kids love bacon, and so every time we make bacon, I'm like, there's got to be a use for this other than clogging my sink or filling a tin can under the sink until it's full enough we just end up throwing it away. Like, can you make a bacon fat candle? Is that a thing you can do?
That would be like a Nolan questioner. Like
yeah.
I'm someone who believes in modern society and doesn't want to go back to the Stone Ages, and so I've never learned any of that.
No, but I like repurposing things if I can reasonably.
It's the Midwesterner inside of you.
No, I want to repurpose it because I mean, if you got a campfire and you dump bacon grease on it, like it flares up, like it's flammable all by itself.
Yeah.
But anyway. No one wants to hear about bacon grease and making candles with it. They want to hear about CO Nats, which I don't really have anything to say about it other than what I'm seeing on Practice Score.
Yeah, I'm mainly following it through Practice Score Competitor. I have to say that America let ourselves down because we lost the top 3 slots at the match to a Frenchman, a Czech, and a Filipino.
But did we?
Yes.
Did we let ourselves down?
Well, we didn't because we just automatically removed them and we pretend like they weren't there. So good job, Jacob Hetherington, on your win.
Here's the thing. If I'm Jacob Hetherington right now, I'm walking around like I got a pretty big swinging dick because I finished 3% behind the GOAT, behind the Michael Jordan of our sport, Eric Raffel.
I'm not saying he's not amazing. I'm just saying that the nation of gun owners and we're the gun country lost to a Frenchman. Like that's All Americans like to make fun of him as surrender monkeys.
No, but we didn't lose to a random Frenchman. They lost to Eric Grafel.
Yes, the Frenchman.
He didn't shoot a fucking Delta.
Yeah.
He shot penalty free with only alphas and Charlies. It's not human. Even the other two Europeans that were 2 and 3, Gino and Martin Kamenicek, they both had mics. Yep. No, Martin didn't have a mic, but he had one no shoot and 2 deltas. Gino had 2 mics and a no shoot and an overtime shot, which I'd ask you what OTS meant.
I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It just basically negates whatever hit you had.
Right, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Top 4 at Nationals shooting CZ Shadow 2s. So apparently, CZ Shadow 2, that's the way to go.
Yeah, for carry optics, it definitely is.
I mean, but props to Jay Beal. I guess that Lego walking on Lego training really helped out with that.
He only had 1 no shoot penalty. That was his only penalty of the match. He shot amazing.
Right. He beat Sailor by 0.6.
Yeah.
0.5. Props. I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. So props to him for, I guess, that next year when you're training for Nationals, get them Legos out. Start dry firing on Legos.
I mean, because I don't think Eric Grafel's lost a match since he was a teenager. Isn't that the statistic? It's something like that.
It would make the most sense.
The guy doesn't lose. He's a machine. He's in his 40s now.
Yeah, his kid's in his 20s, and he's got him to start shooting.
No, I was so curious to see, I never gave a second thought to, is Eric Grafel not going to win this match? My only question was, how big of a lead would he have when he won it? And his lead was only 1.5%.
Yeah, props to those two dudes.
Over Edsel Gino.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that we now have a comparison point of where you might finish against Eric Grafel. Well, some of us do that are able to shoot with a high level dude. I can go in and be well, I shoot 12% behind Lane, and Lane finished here, so I would be down in the 100 and somethings. Because the 100 to 90%, it has 35 people in it. I'm glad you mentioned Lane because I forgot he was there. So I added him to my list. I had the top 7. Yep.
And Lane finished 89% of Eric Grafel. I would feel very good about that.
He hates the French, so he's going to be very upset about it.
Okay. Well, that's fine, but it's still the greatest handgun shooter in the world. So
yeah. But yeah, 26 people finished within 90% of number 1. That is a crazy close margin.
Yeah. Well, and it helps when there's 502 people all in one division.
Well, and it's every one of basically every competitive GM was there. I know of very few that were not there to compete. Yeah, Lane finished 29th, which is a skewed. That's not a bad number when it's one division and there's 500 shooters. Right.
But it's sort of it's I'm just kind of scrolling down looking for names I know of people I know. Nick Walden, North Dakota boy, 82%. Did he? And he's a GM. Did he shoot the match he thought he would? I don't know. Probably not. But but at the same time, to be able to actually compare yourself against the guy who is unquestionably the best,
right, is
really cool to get to do. Yeah,
I don't know that it would have changed anything for me, but I wasn't 100. I wasn't aware that he was going to be there, so I didn't even think about signing up. But now there's a part of me that's it would have been kind of interesting to sign up and see where you finish. But this year's been so shitty for me shooting wise that I would probably just be oh, this is bullshit.
I haven't really seen any video of the match, what the flavor was really. Nils finished 91%. He had 5 mics. His time was on par with all the guys at the top. That dude Gino, he shot under 300 seconds. So did Jacob Hetherington.
Yep.
Damn. And just for comparison, Eric Raffel was 308 seconds. But like I said, that fucking guy shot 94% of the points.
How many Charlies did he have? So he had
60 Charlies
between 20 stages. So he had he had 4 Charlies on average per stage.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 3 Charlies per stage.
Oh yeah, sorry, three Charlies
20
per stage.
stages, 3 per stage. Yep. I wasn't even questioning your math at first. I was just like, "Yep, that's 2, 6. No, that's 3. Never mind." Yeah, it's bananas. That's so crazy. I don't really know what else to say about it. I know there was rain, and I know there was a members meeting that happened. I wasn't on I could have hopped on they made it available for area directors to get on the live stream of it. I was at a wedding, so I couldn't. So,
well, and if there was any major things, we would have probably heard about it by now. I mean, the internet is very good about telling us stage wise. Like, I haven't heard any stage complaints. Someone would have been like, "These stages are bullshit," or like, everyone seems to be generally happy.
Yeah, no one's talking about the stages, which means they were probably good.
Yep.
I didn't see anything about that. There was some issues with like rain on the first day, but yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing some videos now. I wasn't really looking at my phone all weekend. I was just busy with stuff all weekend and just didn't really I didn't see much of it. It was just I'm doing stuff, Jeff. I'm doing stuff. Was there anything at all that was sort of that you saw that was anything that we need to talk about? Because I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. Well, then let's move on.
Okay.
So there's a lawyer attached to every bullet. Right?
Oh God, I despise.
There's a lawyer attached to every bullet.
Whenever a tactard uses this excuse on why competition shooting isn't good or why you don't shoot fast in training or whatever, they love to say this. There's a lawyer attached to every bullet, and if that were true, then why do cops have a 13% accuracy rate? Like, and bullets in general don't actually hit bystanders. Like I watched many a police shooting, and they'll fire.
It happens. I have read that is a thing.
It happened enough. Well,
it's more of a thing than people getting hauled in for reloads.
Right. It tends to, like, you'll hear about it once every few months about a shooting that wounds a secondary person that wasn't involved, and it is a tragedy. It always is. Like, whether it's a wounding or killing. You read about it both the CCW world, the police world. Like, some person shooting at person misses, hits child. There's the famous New York shooting where 2 police officers fired like 27 bullets, hit 11 bystanders, and didn't hit the guy that they were shooting at.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, guys, come on now.
Well, there was that video recently where they lit up wasn't the guy like in the driveway? What was that video? It was recent, just in the last couple months. They were in the video. He wouldn't put down the thing, and there were 3 or 4 cops that all started shooting. It was like bang, 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 bang. Not a single hit. The guy was like, "Okay, I'll stop."
It was at nighttime one. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Yeah, where they had a firing line of like 6 cops shoot, and the guy I think might have been in his house or like in his garage or something. But yeah, they fired like 48 rounds and hit nothing. And you're like, guys, I don't know if that guy was guilty or not, but like, you should be a little bit better at this. And so it goes back to this idea that I think a lot of the tactical guys use it as an excuse on why they don't shoot fast or why they don't push themselves, because they want to say every shot I take, like, I gotta be accountable to it.
Yep.
And like, for me, I believe in training at a higher level than what I'm going to need, so that when I'm in that moment, it feels like I'm going slow.
Did you just grow a mustache? You're training at a higher level? Is that what you just said? Do you have a QLS plate on your Shadow 2 now?
Oh,
You're training at a higher level? Is that what you just said, Jeff?
I got to go commit Harry Carey.
That's like QLS plate stuff, which, by the way, I like the QLS plates. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty handy to just switch holsters. It is.
It's just normally worn by like awful people. But if you're trying to learn how to do something at a high speed, you probably got to go at a higher speed so that it feels okay. Like, Andy, as a high level shooter, when do you feel like the wheels are coming off?
It depends on what the definition of wheels are coming off is. And when I'm okay, if I'm running a drill for like a really fast transition drill, like I had a pistol skills class on Saturday, and the way I like to teach that and this is with typically people who are not competition shooters, but like one of the last things I'll do in that class is multiple targets, and so we have 3 targets set up. And we start off with just one shot, just getting them more used to the moving than the shooting part. And when I was just going cuckoo bananas crazy, like I was like, I'm going to go for it. Okay. Like I shot it slow like a tank turret. And then there was that time, which was like 2.8 seconds.
Right.
Or something like that. I don't remember what my time was. And then I shot it where I knew I was going to hit all alphas. But I was going to go as fast as I could, hitting all alphas. And then it was like 182, something like that.
Yep.
And then I said, okay, now I'm going to just like go for it. And I shot all alphas. I almost missed the third one on the back target. It was like 2 5-yard targets that were about 5 yards apart. And then a 10-yard target that was not a long transition away.
Yep.
And it was 3 alpha in like 152.
Nice.
So yeah, but I did that. But here's the thing. Then we did it with 2 shots, and I said, okay, now I'm going to go for it, like going crazy.
Yep.
And the results of the other strings were pretty similar to the single shot, but when it came to that 2-shot one, guess what? I had a mic a delta. I didn't have a mic, but I had a delta that I drug off. Yep. And then I drug on a Charlie. Now, is that and there's a point to this long thing. And by the way, before the show, I told Jeff that when I'm editing, it bugs me that I can see that I'm talking more than him, and I want him to butt in more. But there's a point. My point is, to your original question, when do I feel like the wheels are coming off? Like, if it's in I'm just making sure I hit stuff with my carry gun. If I'm hitting Charlies, wheels aren't off.
Right.
If it's Delta, that could be a miss.
Right.
So that was a long way of saying, if I'm hitting the target, even going cuckoo bananas,
you're good.
I'm like, yeah, the lawyers are, assuming there's a lawyer attached to every shooting. That's why that saying is so stupid. Like, I'm accountable for all of my bullets. Okay.
You're accountable once the gun has left your holster, really, because well, in some states you have committed either brandishing or assault. Like if the gun has left the holster in a public space, you are now. There could be lawyers attached to whatever's happening, and any violent encounter, a lawyer is going to be involved more than likely.
It depends entirely on the scenario, though. Like if you pulled your gun out because there was a mass shooting happening and you weren't the one doing it. That wouldn't be assault. That would be responding to an emergency with an appropriate tool, But some states, like it gets real iffy when it comes to some of that stuff.
And so for me, it feels like it's one of those excuses that like tactical guys will be like, oh, you USPSA shooters, like you're just throwing misses everywhere. And no, we're not. Like, we don't want to. Our goal is to never miss, because for us, that's minus 15 points, which if you're competing and trying to shave 1% off of Nils or JJ or Eric Raffel, a miss, well, you're done. The match is over for you, because they Eric Raffel didn't miss, not one time.
Not even a delta.
Not even a delta.
No.
So it's one of these excuses that I hear from tactical guys of like, and they have all of the, well, you need to be behind cover or your scoring zone is too big. I don't know if you've dealt with that one before, but I've trained with some tactical guys that their version of like a warm-up drill is to spray paint a circle, like a very, like put the can close, spray it once, and like all your bullets must touch that, or you got to do 20 push-ups or whatever. And I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not trying to shoot someone's eyeball. I'm trying to shoot them in the face. Like you're artificially trying to make the drill harder, thinking that it's going to trip someone of high skill up because you don't understand how our skill is built.
Right. I talk about this in my permit classes a lot because like for the first 50 rounds when somebody's shooting, I'll get a dude who's shooting, we shoot at 3, 5, 7, 10, and 15 yards. And it's just 10 rounds each. The first 50, just like, we're just group shooting. Just shoot the best group you can.
Yep.
And usually if somebody's shooting one ragged hole, I'll go over and just go, okay, you're good. I get it. Now I want you to fire as soon as your sight returns to where you want the bullet to go.
Yep.
And it's just another layer. Like, clearly you can hit what you're aiming at. That you don't have a problem with that. And I don't usually go over and have them do that until after the 10-yard line, because the difference between 7 and 10 is all of a sudden where stuff starts getting a little wider. And
Which I find funny. You just have like a raggedy hole, and then at 10 yards, it's like a shotgun spread. And you're
No. I'm not saying that. It's just like if somebody's shooting like one ragged hole, like that's when they'll start having them a few inches away from the ragged hole. I mean, they're still all alphas, It's just they're not in one spot. Like they're starting to have some variance.
Right.
And that's when I'll start to say like, hey, because sometimes they'll get to that 10-yard line and then it is starting to like go all over the place. Like it's sort of that
there's
magic
like a mental
line.
block. Yeah.
And certainly at 15. If they're still good at 10, by the time they get to 15, like, okay, that's when we maybe throw our first Charlie.
Yep.
That's when that happens. But even then, I'm like, hey, you're good. Like you can hit what you're aiming at. That's awesome.
Right.
Now do it quicker.
Right.
Like, and it's all for me. When everybody leaves, I want them following up with shots as quickly as possible and being very close.
Right. Because that's one of the realms that people get tripped up on is either, I don't know if they don't think about it or if they're like, oh, when the adrenaline kicks, it's going to like slow down my perception. So I'm going to be able to handle shooting faster. And as someone who watches a lot of shootings, it tends to be that they start very much outrunning their sights and they're just spraying bullets at it. Their gun becomes a noisemaker, essentially. It's like bad thing go away, big bang thing make bad thing go away. And you see it with, like I said, like I think I forget where I read it, but it was like police shootings have like a 26% hit rate.
I think that's generous. I think it's less than that.
Yeah. And it's because they don't accept that training is where you fail. Like I 100% agree with Andy, and I see that a lot as a coach, is like when you're in like the coach and when the coach is watching you, you try to go, you try to be perfect. You try to do it a little bit harder.
Oh, dude, I said that exact same thing to a guy in that class on Saturday.
Yep.
Like he had a bad run on a run of a drill, and I was like, okay, so what happened there? He's like, oh, I just completely screwed that run up. I said, cool, but what did you do? Like, were you expecting it to be perfect?
Right.
If it's perfect, what is it? And he knew what I wanted him to hear. He knew what I wanted him to say, and it's just too slow then if I nail it. Right.
Yep. Yeah. If you're doing whatever the drill is, whatever the distance is, if you're getting all alphas, take it up a notch. I mean, we all say this at a USPSA match, is if you get done and you're like, oh, you went all alphas, first thing you hear is you should have gone faster.
Too slow.
Yep. Because and in training you need to feel where the wheels fall off and the different points at which the wheels fall off. Was it visual? Was it fundamentals of shooting? Was it you just being dumb? Like I do that all the time.
Sometimes you just do dumb things, yes.
Right. But like it's good to feel that, so that when you get into a situation where you've got to like do some things, your brain isn't having to be like, oh my God, I've never processed this at this speed before. It's like, oh yeah, we've done this before. And I see it a lot. I've done some training with like, especially cops or like tactical guys. They emphasize like, hey, like, clean trigger press, boom. Okay, now you go out to the reset. Okay, now you reset, like boom. And you're like, okay, second splits are not really that useful for training for any kind of training. Like, there needs to be a time, and like points per second is the best way to measure the efficiency of a task. And I wish it could be implemented in every single sport and every single task, because that's what actually matters in the real world.
Yeah. If it was real world, like, to what Caleb Giddings said a few weeks ago in I think it was an Instagram post about how hit factor is not really all that applicable to defensive shooting, which I got what he was saying, because there's no negatives for, like, you have a stray round go by, and so there's no penalty for that.
So put a no shoot around it.
Well, whatever. I understood what he was saying, but in terms of, is my shooting efficient? It's without a doubt the best way to do it, because this was another thing in the class the other day. He had no idea what hit factor was and did not understand it at all. I'd never even heard of it. And I just said, all it is, like, if we were actually scoring these like a match, it's just points per second. You got 5, 3, and 1 for the zones. Yep. And so then he had one run that was really quick, and I did the hit factor, and it was like 8.6. And I said, okay, now shoot all alphas this time. He was a pretty good shooter.
Yep.
Even though his Hollow Sun 509 wouldn't stay on his gun. More on that later. He shot it where it was still quick, but he knew he was going to get alphas. Like, he was for a guy who's never shot competitively, he was damn good.
Yeah.
And he shot it. It was. I want to say the first time was like 285, something like that, and the second time was 315, but it was all alphas. And I said, which one do you suppose is better? It's about a 0.3 of a second is the difference here.
Yep.
It's not a huge difference, but you've got better points over here. Just taking your time a little bit, and it was like a 9.6 or 9.3.
Right.
It was a significantly higher hit factor score. And it was just like, you got the same result 0.3 of a second slower, or you got a better result 0.3 of a second slower.
Yep.
So,
and it's hard for people to grasp that of points and efficiency. It's not just go balls to the wall at all times, because the wheels fall off, and now you're throwing makeup shots at steel, which that'll slow you down real quick.
That's kind of what I think of when you were talking about cops were just throwing rounds at the thing, scaring them, which, like, if they're scared, I understand. But I immediately thought of trying to knock down a popper with volume of fire.
Yep.
Like,
my other favorite is the trying to move out on a popper shuffle, where you like miss it, but you started moving away, and so you have to
my stage at Cornhusker, stage 6, that fucked everybody.
Yeah, and you had to like jump back,
God.
and by like the fourth time, you're like, I should have just planted my feet,
yep,
and shot the steel and done the thing and move on,
or shot it from the back when you're already still. That was still a good play.
It did look like it was a good play, but so yeah, basically, the general point is, like, take training for training's sake, and push yourself in training to be better, because that's how you will build skill. If you're shooting at all alphas in a quarter-size group at 10 yards, whoop-de-doo, I don't really care, unless you're doing it with like 16 splits. Then go shoot USPSA, and I want to see you do that, like, on the clock, because that'd be cool.
Yeah. I love that I can shoot that tac sport with 15, 16 splits, like, in a match.
Yeah.
Like, I like that I can do that, and it is really fun. But at the same time, like, I was shooting my Glock in the class the other day, and I was explaining to the guys in the class, like, look, okay, and I showed him that gun was also in my bag. I had my 34 and I had my TAC Sport. And then I showed him my TAC Sport, and I'm like, okay, so this gun gives me a boner. But I said, if I was going to get paid for how my performance was going to be at the next match I shot, I would go back to that 34.
Yep.
Because every time I go messing around with some Italian slut or that Czech whore, like, things end up eventually going sideways for me.
Yes.
And when I go back to that Austrian housewife, like, things are like, there's the girls you date and there's the girl you marry. And
yeah.
And a Glock's just it's a boring girl you marry, but she's fantastic. She's a fantastic woman.
And that's if you don't get used to the supermodel, because once you get used to the supermodel, it's fun. Yeah. It's really fun. You just got to stay on the edge of your seat the whole time, but like, as Eric Raffel has proven.
Yeah, well, but I mean, the Shadow 2 though is sort of she's like Miss Utah who didn't make the finals, like. Not even that. Like, she maybe like was at the pageant for the state, but didn't quite get there. I'm not sure why I'm picking on Utah. Miss South Dakota never gets there. But, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, she was at the pageant, but she didn't win the state pageant. That's the Shadow 2, you know.
Nah, not when you have a Cajun kit in it. Then
no, the TAC Sport is a finer shooting experience. It just is.
I'll have to borrow it next time you're down here.
Yeah, it's just... With 9mm and a dot, it's just the Shadow 2 is good too, but like, I don't know, it's just like I said, the gun gives me a boner. So speaking of the Holosun 509, enclosed emitters are basically the equivalent of suppressor height backup sights for a pistol with a dot. It's basically the same thing. Like, I'm getting an enclosed emitter, so I never have lint or dog hair or belly button fur or rain getting in there and messing it all up. Well, I've shot with a dot in the rain, and you know what I saw when I was shooting with a dot in the rain? I saw raindrops on the inside of my lens, and I saw my dot. And it wasn't really an issue.
I have had an issue with it before.
Okay.
Where the raindrop landed exactly where the dot would hit the lens.
Uh-huh.
And so that it definitely gave me a secondary thought pattern, but I just point shot and it worked fine because.
Well, here's the thing I noticed too was as soon as I fired the first shot, like the water droplets changed shape.
Yes,
because it flings the water off the dot as it's going back and forth. You know, it's sort of like shaking it back and forth.
Yep.
You know, shake it like a Polaroid picture. Now, I'm sure someone is going to send me a message and say, well, actually, if you have the enclosed emitter can make your penis longer when you take Viagra. Okay, great. I'm so glad that's a thing.
When you're in the trenches of Ukraine,
yep,
and it's the middle of winter, and for some reason the 18 AK-47s in front of you aren't going to do the job, and you pull your pistol out, and you're like, oh no, my dot. Oh no!
But is that greasy? Like, are you shooting a goofy USPSA partial, or is it like I need to hit a bad guy?
Right. Which like, at that point, just use the circle of the emitter, like the housing of the emitter, and go, oh, he completely fills the emitter. That's probably close.
So the guy in my class the other day was sort of the inspiration of this thing to shit on enclosed emitter dots, which, you know, I'm sure they're wonderful. It's wonderful. You always have the same image, but if it's raining on the back lens that's not enclosed, then it's still like raining on it. And I understand like water can get on the emitter, and that is also a potential problem because then it like sprays the laser everywhere. Yes, I understand. I just haven't experienced it to be that big of a deal that I'm going to spend an extra $150 on an optic that won't stay screwed onto the plate.
Right.
That I had to buy so I could put it on the MOS plate. Like, the MOS plate isn't what failed on this guy's gun. It was the adapter plate that he has to put on underneath it so that it will go on the MOS plate.
Yeah, I've always the mounting system,
because it's a weird system.
Yeah, the mounting plates for that and like the Acro P2 and all the enclosed emitters feel so kludgy that like I don't really I don't understand them because I've never dealt with it, but it's very simple to understand. Oh, I shove these screws through the hole in the optic and I just tighten to a certain point and cover it in Loctite.
Yes.
Done.
How many Ugga Duggas do you do?
Yeah.
The other thing, I'm a big fan of red Loctite for the plate and blue for the optic for obvious reasons.
I found out the hard way why not to do it for both of them.
Yes, because the red, if you do it on the plate, no big deal. You pull out a blowtorch, you heat it up, you unscrew it, no problem. That voids the warranty of your optic unless it's a vortex.
I mean,
although if you intentionally heat it up with a torch, I don't know if they're going to honor that one.
Right. I'm kind of at the point where like I think we talked about a couple weeks ago or last week or whatever, is it's like all of my stuff has voided all of the warranties.
Yeah, I know.
At this point, so I don't know. I thank Trigicon the few times I've had to send stuff in that I'm like, hey, I busted in your thing. Can you help me with it? And they're like, yeah, sure. Here you go.
Yeah. I'm sure it's wonderful to have the enclosed emitter, and if you're a police officer and you've got, you have the risk of getting donut frosting over the emitter, or French fries. Like, I mean, if I was, I've been carrying a gun with a dot, and I haven't had it get blacked out by belly button lint yet, or body hair, or
and
lint fuzz, whatever.
And for the average CCW person, like your shirt being over it protects it from all the things.
It does, but like just wearing a shirt gets lint in my belly button, Jeff.
Maybe clean out your belly button more.
Well, I clean it out every time I take a shower.
Right. I
have a big belly button. That's part of it.
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't maintain my stuff in any way, shape, or form, and my stuff still works. So I don't know. It's one of those things of people seeking out this durability level that doesn't make sense for their use case, that companies are like, yes, idiot, please give me more money. Yes. And you're like, nope, a basic 90% of people would get away with a Burris Fast Fire 3 or a Hollow Sun, what is it, 504? Whatever the basic Hollow Sun with a dot.
The 407 or 507.
Yeah, whatever.
Those are the same. By the way, the 407 and the 507 are the same optic, except the 407 is like $100 cheaper and doesn't have the ring reticle. That's it.
Right.
It's the same optic otherwise. So get the 407.
Right.
You're going to save money.
Exactly, because you're not diving into water-filled trenches of Verdun. You're not. You're going on the Walmart run. If
I was getting it for a shotgun to shoot at drones in Ukraine, I would probably get the 507. Then I would shoot the donor to death.
Yes.
That would be more useful, I think, as a shotgun optic, that reticle. But outside of that, nah, give me a dot.
My favorite thing that I've seen happen with the enclosed emitters is one of the glasses will break or the seal will come loose, and then it'll fog the inside out because I believe it's a vacuum inside of it to keep it from fogging, and then once there's a little hole in it,
sure,
it'll get humidity and
foggy, just like a regular scope.
Yep,
like argon purged. Is it argon purged?
Exactly.
Yeah, argon. I think it's a gas.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it's one of the inert gases. It's on the periodic table.
Will it make you talk funny if you inhale it? What's the one that gives you the really deep voice? Do you know what that is? What gas is that? We should do that on the show for fun one time.
Right.
Is it poisonous? Will we die?
Maybe. I mean, everything's poisonous with enough of it.
Gas that makes voice deeper. That is sulfur hexafluoride.
Oh, anything with sulfur in it doesn't make me super confident.
Yeah. That will make your fart smell worse. It's 6 times heavier than air. So then it gives you the big voice.
Argon is not toxic by itself, but it can be an asphyxiation hazard in enclosed spaces.
Oh, sure. Like anything that's not oxygen, if there's too much of that versus oxygen, sure.
It burns purple. So if you see a neon sign or whatever, and it's purple, it's argon inside that sign.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. The more you know. Okay. Tactars need to stop using fake excuses. Did you say this already? We sort of already
we combine them all into
Crush
one.
the Timmies. Yeah, no, I thought we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can move on to the Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay, so and also patreon.com/notanothershootingshow, $3.57 a month, and you get an extra show every month. Of course, there is that little teaser that annoys some people that you just get like a sliver of an episode or a part of an episode. Sometimes I give you like a third of an episode. Just kind of depends on what it is, but you get a whole extra show for $3.57 a month, a whole extra show per week for $3.57 a month. So patreon.com/notanothershootingshow. Our good friend, Michelle, well, you're a good friend and my very good acquaintance, Michelle Weitzel. I just don't know her as well as you do, but I know her. She's wonderful. Great shirts. MW Activewear. Your jerseys won't suck and they won't cost that much. MW Activewear. Active is spelled AKTIV. And go find her on Instagram, and she'll get you or your match set up with jerseys. And reddit.com/r/NASS. NAS on Reddit. We have a little community there that has how many people? I forgot to pull it up before just now because I was keeping tabs on my phone with it. We are up to 104 members. God damn. 4 online right now, but 2 of them are you and me. So, so going to that. Let's see what else. Okay, that was the shotgun thing. That was last week. Okay, Trash Shooter posted. It's a meme that said, "I need the new Trigicon and closed red dot in case an IED goes off in the Wendy's drive-thru and I'm covered with debris." Well, that kind of plays into the enclosed emitters are overrated. Yes. Definitely, 100%. You definitely need it for that. El Grande Shoe, Bert.
Stop switching guns.
His question on here was, what drills would you do to see if the brand new gun magic is better than your current gun? Now, you're not wrong, Jeff. Quit switching guns. Because he also does quite well with that Austrian housewife. And he messed around with the Czech slut for a while, but he's also gone to that East Coast plastic gun at times. Doesn't quite know what to do about it. What drills would you do to see if a new gun is better than your current gun?
I basically only do designated target as the training drill anyways anymore. I don't know. I go out and shoot it, and if most of the time I go, yeah, this isn't better than my Shadow 2. Or like, I shoot a trash on the back of the berm, fire a magazine through it, and go, yeah, I don't know, this isn't my jam. Like I'm not super serious, but I'm also not a tinkerer, because like I know the guys that will bring 6 different recoil springs and like fire 5 rounds out of each of them, and their brain can remember the difference in the feeling between them, and I'm like. I don't know. It's just, people are like, what recoil spring do you have in there? I'm like, whatever it came with from the factory 40,000 rounds ago. So, I don't know. They probably need replaced at this point, and I don't know what that number is, but they probably need replaced.
As far as the question goes, what drill? Yeah, designated target, that's a pretty good one, because you got transitions, you can have various distances. I think a sample stage would be even better. You know, just something where you actually need to take the gun down, move, and then mount it again.
Yeah, throw in a reload, and you get the kind of the
do
full
all
experience.
of the gun handling. Yep. You know, because and build your sample stage with like a lean, because that's also a thing that's very different from gun to gun. And you know, when I went from my Glock to starting to mess with the Berettas, that all of a sudden I'm leaning around a wall. I'm like, shit, is that there?
And I think most of the information you need to get, you'll get through a basic dry fire. Like as long as you're
of it,
as long as you're focused and you're like paying attention. Because I didn't actually think about this until I was dry firing my friend Nolan's Beretta. And I was like, oh, I can never shoot this because my thumbs sit too high and against the frame because I shoot Shadow 2s. And then I went back and looked at M&Ps, and they got a big old ledge that you can put your finger on. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And then I was like, and then someone had a DWX, and I was like, ooh, I want one of these. And then I put my thumbs, and they were against the side of the slide, and I was like, oh, this explains why I stopped shooting 1911s. Got it. Now it all makes sense. So I think there's a lot you can get from just handling the gun, figuring that stuff out, and then just go shoot it. Just go play with it and shoot your guns back to back. See if it really is God's gift to because what I find at least is if it is a quality gun from a reputable manufacturer, your time behind the gun is more important than the gun.
Yes.
And so because I'm the same way. I've got 4 Shadow 2s. That doesn't mean I don't look at a 2011 every now and then, or look at a TAC Sport 2 or whatever. Like I'm in we're all, the grass is greener. The grass is greener, and it's like, nope, it isn't. You whatever you have in your hand works as long as the bullets go off.
I still don't think if I'm shooting a match that the TAC Sport is better than my Glock for me. I mean, is that gun better for competition? Hell yeah. But I have I don't know, between all my Glocks, somewhere in the neighborhood of 60, 70,000 rounds through them. I have 10,000 through the TAC Sport, and 8 of those were 45 years ago.
Yep.
40 Smith & Wesson, I mean. So, yeah. Rusty Chev 884. I'm pretty sure this is Robert. Posted a stage from the club match at Sioux Falls Practical Shooters today that I was not at. I was not able to go. They had a Cooper tunnel, Jeff.
Those abominations.
What's wrong with a Cooper tunnel? For those who don't know, let's just for the people who don't know what a Cooper tunnel is, what is a Cooper tunnel?
It is a tunnel. It is 2 walls at a shooting match with a bunch of small pieces of wood on top of it, and if you bump a piece of wood, I believe it has to fall completely off.
Yes.
You get a procedural for every single one you knock off.
Mm-hmm.
And they're more common in IPSC. I've not run into one in USPSA because I'd probably kick the match director in the knee, or I would just drop out of the match. But yeah, they are to replicate, I don't know,
shooting from a culvert.
Right, because that's where I want to get into my shootings.
Well, hey, Bull Randleman had to hide in a culvert in Holland,
Yeah, and then he shanked the dude. But
yeah.
But personally, I hate them because
you're 6'9". Just say
I'm
it.
6'9".
I'm really tall, and I hate.
I'm
low
really
ports.
tall, but there's also no equivalent going the other direction.
No.
So
you get penalized more than anyone else.
I can only get fucked on these stages. I couldn't set up a stage with a 6'5" port and be like, deal with it.
Well, I think actually you could, as long as it was a bay that had high enough berms that it wasn't scary. You could have a port that was 6'5" off the ground. And
just have to have a stool, and I'll just put
or
the
just
stool
like just
at
like
the back
a little
of the bay.
like a little wheelchair ramp for those who need it, and for those who don't, who are 6'9", they can just roll through it.
Right, but where's my wheelchair ramp for this one? I don't. Again.
Well, you can still. And what is the rule? You can't reload in a Cooper tunnel. You can shoot in a Cooper tunnel because, this one, you're basically the firing position. The shooting area ended in the Cooper tunnel,
right?
And that was kind of Robert's kind of a shit, and he definitely designed the stage with you in mind.
Could I even go? Can I go prone in it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because I guess that's what I would.
And that
do.
would have been the option for somebody super tall. Would have been to go, just sort of. I mean, and it was just 8 feet. It wasn't crazy long. You could have just sort of like hunched down and then gone prone, and you probably would have been able to reach everything.
Right. It wasn't an obscene, like an old school Area 3 style, but like it still is. I'm glad they're not common within the sport. I know that they are allowed within the sport, but I think they are a test for people, for very few people. Like, how do I phrase this? They're a valid test for very few people.
Yeah.
Especially in a sport dominated by old people, like old, out of shape people. Like,
I feel attacked.
Yeah, with your busted knee, you want to go through a Cooper tunnel?
No.
Exactly.
No. It doesn't like being bent all the way.
Nope.
It really dislikes it a lot. I also noticed, just rewatching the video here, that Robert is shooting with a light on his Glock. Now, I don't know if this is because he's being a douche and he's actually shooting a USPSA match with a light on his gun, or if it's his work gun. If it's his work gun, then I'll give him a pass. But
I think it's valid under hit factor rules.
No, I'm not talking about the legality of it. I'm just talking about whether it's douchey or not.
I got you. I mean, I'm going to side with it. He's douchey because he set up this tunnel and specifically tagged me in it. So I think he's doing it to be a douche because he's a douche. But no, I like Robert. I think he's a wonderful person. But I hate Cooper tunnels and the entire concept of them. It would be faster for me to literally run out and then dive back in a prone position than to go through a Cooper tunnel. And Cooper tunnels have this weird, I think they have a weird distinction within USPSA as a sport that you can dictate that people must stay within the shooting area, because if there's no shooting within the Cooper tunnel, you just go around it.
No, there can be shooting in the Cooper tunnel. You just can't. I can't remember what the rule is. I thought you couldn't shoot from the Cooper tunnel, or you couldn't reload.
I think it's reload, because I've always seen shooting through the Cooper tunnel because you had to give a reason for the people to go through it, unless there's a distinct rule that's like, hey, if there's a Cooper tunnel, you must go through it.
Yeah.
Because if there's a shooting area on the other side of that Cooper tunnel and there's nothing to do in between, I'm going around it.
I remember the one other time there was a Cooper tunnel at this club, you would have had to run. There were like 3 wall sections on either side. Like it would have taken you so much time to run around that it wasn't worth it. But maybe. I don't know. Okay, Cooper tunnels are dumb. Got it. All right. And I think that's it, because we forgot to put out a thing asking for things to talk about. So it was just sort of what naturally showed up on our Reddit.
So people who like to post things, please come to the NAS subreddit and just put up random things you want us to talk about. Like, some days they're interesting, some days you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But bring topics of discussion.
Sure. Do that. Shoot a match. Go do the things. I'm actually looking at like what my next match is that I'm signed up for currently, and I don't have a match until the end of whoops, that was the wrong tab. Let me go to my dashboard on Practice Score. I didn't even shoot my own club match this past week because I was so freaking tired.
Yeah,
I just I wasn't going to do it.
I canceled my match this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, here we can quick talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about that quick.
Yeah, so I'm the match director for Pro-Am, which is a sport based around falling steel in a part-time. I think it's super fun. It's awesome. But I ran into a situation where I only had 11 people signed up for my match. And I've shot at clubs where 11 people is a good match for them. But for my club, that's not a lot of people. And
why do you suppose that was?
So I don't know. We don't know if Pro-Am is dying. Like, Pro-Am is hard mode, and it can be very brutal to newbie shooters. But most people tend to enjoy it. I don't know. No one ever like walks up to me at the match and goes, "This was stupid. I hate it. I'm never coming back." but the people just never come back. But we also, it's the middle of summer. It's the week before 4th of July.
Yeah.
Right after College World Series, yada, 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 yada.
It's CO Nats.
It's CO Nats.
How can you have a club match when CO Nats is going on?
Well, we only
for
lost...
all the people who aren't going to CO Nats, like
right,
most of the sport.
Yeah, we only lost like 3 shooters to CO Nats. So like...
I don't think our club's lost anyone to it. I don't think anybody went this year from around here.
But as the match director, I wasn't going to haul out 70 pieces of steel. I also had no stage designer. So the bigger point of it is like the volunteerism of the sport requires people to sign up and do shit, and no one signed up to do anything. And I was like, I'm not hauling 70 pieces of steel out by myself. So, and you have to have an attrition rate. Because I don't know if it's the same for your matches, but our matches lose about 10 to 20% of signups. Maybe it's
like more shows.
Yeah, so maybe it's like 5 to 10%. But like, yeah, we tend to have 5 or 6 people that just don't show up to a match. They sign up, they pay the whole 9 yards, they just don't show up. So if you got 12 people and 2 don't show up, you're like, oh well, I've lost a lot of people for this, and steel is heavy. And I was like, you know what? If no one else wants to do it, then I don't want to do it. And so I canceled it. And I don't feel bad about canceling it. I like Pro-Am, but if it's dead, it's dead. And I'll just move on to the next thing. So.
All right. Well, don't feel bad about it. I wouldn't if I were you. I actually had to explain to a guy who asked me the other day, hey, what about, how come there's not as many, 2 and 3 gun matches at your club this year? I said, because no one's putting them on. Well, what do you mean? Well, do you want to run it? Well, I don't really know how to. I'm not like a certified whatever what that is. I said, I didn't know what I was doing either the first time I did it. I just did it.
Yep.
So if there's something you want to do at your club, volunteer to do it. If you're unsure or have questions, like those who have gone before you, unless they've just totally pieced out, will probably help you. I'd be happy to help anybody, you know, because the tablets are intimidating. Tablets is probably the most intimidating part of trying to run a match.
It is.
And it's the toughest learning curve, honestly.
Right. I'm blessed at my club because I've not been forced to learn how to do tablet work because we have 1 or 2 people who will gladly show up and do the tablets for me.
You have never had to deal with that?
No.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah, I just run.
You're not even like a real match director.
No, and that's why I tell people it's not that hard. If I can do it, you can do it. It's not that difficult.
No, and whatever the sport is, just like, hey, I want to do this. I want to make it happen. Just make it happen.
People will follow you. They will go, ooh, I don't want to do that part, but I like this part. Okay, use them for that part. And then they'll be like, what about this part? Well, we'll figure that part out together. And a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah, and like when on Monday, I was like, I'm exhausted. Like, there's no way in hell I'm putting on a match on Wednesday. I don't even want to go. And so I texted the 2 guys who were already signed up and who had run matches or built stages before. And I said, I'm not going. Can you guys please take care of things? And they said, yes, we will do that. And there's always help. Like, the match doesn't start until it's built, and it's a weeknight match. So, like, the help is there, and the help was there apparently. So, yeah. No, it was like, if you want a thing to happen at your club, then make it happen. It's not because people, if something's not happening, it's because the people who are making it happen aren't making it happen. Like, if I wanted to put on like a mid-level 3-gun match like we've always had, but the guy who has run it for the last 6-7 years isn't doing it this year, if I wanted to make it happen, like we would have like the same 60-70 people who show up for it every year. But I don't want to. Correct. So it's not happening. And, it's just not. So it is what it is. If you want something to happen, make it happen. Okay. We beat that dead horse. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow. You'll get an extra episode on Friday. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.